The 23rd Vodafone Ghana Music Awards. Best African Artist of the Year. The nominees are Wizkid, Fireboy DML, CK, Tefts, Vocalistic, Joe Boy, the 23rd Vodafone Ghana Music Awards. Afrobeats Afro-Pop Artist of the Year. The nominees are Sefa, Kiddy, King Promise, Mr. Drew, Wendy Shay, Jackie, Camido, Daco Vibes, the 23rd Vodafone Ghana Music Awards. Best Afrobeat Song. The nominees are Celebrate, Kwesi Arthur featuring Tenny, Dollar on You, Kwame Eugene, Ichoke, Sefa featuring Mr. Drew, Sugarcane, Camido featuring Phantom, Mon Bebe, Kiddy, Jim Appel, Daco Vibes featuring Davido, Coming Home, Miss V featuring Tiwa Savage, the 23rd Vodafone Ghana Music Awards. Best Afro-Pop Song of the Year. The nominees are Heat, Wendy Shay featuring Shay Gang, Forever Remix, Jackie featuring Omale, Mood, Mr. Drew, Slow Down, King Promise, Enjoyment Minister, D-Block featuring Kwamina MP and Stoneboy, Sad Girls Love Me Remix, Amare featuring Molly and Kali Uchis, Praise. The 23rd Vodafone Ghana Music Awards. Album EP of the Year. The nominees are No Pressure, Sarkodie, The Golden Boy, Kiddy, Experience, Joe Metal, Lighthouse, Aquaboa, D-Black, Loyalty, Afro High Life, Kwame Eugene. The 23rd Vodafone Ghana Music Awards. Collaboration of the Year. The nominees are Abodie, Captain Planet featuring Kwame Eugene, Yekon, Ochame Kwame featuring Kwame Eugene, Enjoyment Minister, D-Black featuring Kwamina MP and Stoneboy, Ichoke, Sefa featuring Mr. Drew, Sikabefie Remix, Kweku Dalente featuring Kwame Eugene, Kweku Flake, Yao Talk and Family, Coachella, Sarkodie featuring Kwesi Arthur, BBC Kwame Yogurt featuring Kwame Eugene, Otimimu Ohima Mercy featuring MOG Music. The 23rd Vodafone Ghana Music Awards. Female Vocal Performance of the Year. The nominees are Only You, Celestine Dunkel. My House, Abiana. Faithful God, Esther Godwell. Where You Are, Niela. Overflow, Ife Grace. Ready for an OMG, Sina Soul.
All right, so from the Experience concert all the way in Koforidua this weekend, we are ready for the people, the culture, and the music starting tonight. There are three gentlemen who are going to spice up this morning's conversation. One of them all the way in Abutre, but he did not fail to be part of this discussion. But right here in studio, Mr. Francis Doku. He is the general manager of MGTV and, of course, a board member for the VGMAs. Dodoku. But that was a big surprise to me. I didn't know.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea. I had no idea. I had no idea at all. And of course, Ola Michaels, he's a radio presenter with Neat FM. And Arnold Asamoah Beidu, he's an entertainment pundit and critique in this industry. If you're in this entertainment industry and you don't know him, then I don't know what you're doing. Hello, Boga.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
Hey, Boga.
Yes, ma'am.
How is it going? What's the temperature like this morning?
Oh, okay. And you're bad, sir.
Just I did crunchy. So I'm saying, okay, we'll be done with this in no time. But since you are the one on, just for technology not failing us, let me just come straight to you. Well, you've been observing from 2021 to 2022. Your general overview on nominees, how the board arrived at who is supposed to get what and all that. Let us know.
Well, first of all, let me give props to the board. It's not an easy task to actually go through the process of categorization, nomination, and eventually voting for the winners. And so the board has a lot of work to do. And for me, I think they did quite a good job.
Okay.
A few controversial points, but it is not necessary now because the VGMA, regardless of how loud you shout, nothing will change. I mean, so for me, I think we need to give the board its recommendation for whatever they'll be able to do.
Okay.
Big ups to them.
Okay. All right. Now, there's been a lot of talk. One category especially, let me just quickly go to it, and people are actually concerned why Kwesi Arthur is not in that category. Best Hip Life, Best Hip Hop Artist of the Year. Now, the nominees, Sarkodie, Otiami Kwame, Black Sharif, D Black, Amra, Doberna, and Medical. And people do not understand, music lovers don't understand why Kwesi Arthur is not in that category. Do you have a problem with it as well?
That question should first of all go to Francis Doku.
I'll come to Francis Doku, but just in case technology fails me, I want to take your take first.
It will not fail. Yes, Kwesi Arthur is a hip hop artist. I don't know what he classifies himself to be, but then we know hip life is a subgenre of hip hop.
Okay. And
I do not know what he applied for, because usually the artists and their management are supposed to tell the board as to what exactly they represent. And so we may not know what Kwesi Arthur presented to the board as to whether he's a hip hop or he's a hip life artist. That could be a factor. Otherwise, I do not know why he would be omitted from that list.
So on that note, let me just come to Mr. Doku. Good to see you, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
How easy has it been this year for the board?
Oh no, I mean it's not been easy. It's always been tough. Fact is that music is a creative work, and you know that over the past 2 years, artists have suffered in the face of this pandemic. Everybody has, So I think last year was kind of a recovery year. You note that even from the beginning of the year, there were no major events, just like 2020. Yeah. It was towards the end, around Christmas, that there were so many events that helping artists get money really from taking part in events and all that. But I think over the past 2-3 years, one of the areas that have come very strong is streaming, where their music is on different platforms, from Boomplay to Spotify to Apple Music to all of them, you know. And so it becomes a bit difficult looking at how to assess, you know, artists and all that. Previously, you can go to Cantonment and get sales, number of sales.
Yeah.
You can try and monitor radio airplay and all that. It's become a bit more complicated now. So the criteria, you know, has to reflect, you know, the modern times and kind of use yourself. But it is also still a creative thing. And when it comes to creative, everybody has their own opinion. I think there are about 13, 14 people on the board. Everybody have their single view of what should be this and what should be that. At the end of the day, you all have to come together and say, okay, this is what, this is what. So, yes, it's still a very difficult thing to do. There were so many meetings. I'm sure Arnold will tell you about 3 Music Awards and how they had to say it many, you know, nights, many days to be able to. First of all, there are hundreds of songs that are done in any particular year. So for each category, there's a certain number that you have to cut it to. So you need to sit, listen to everything, watch everything, and then decide that, okay, this and this and this, based on what evidence is available that you can support with this, you go this way. So yes, it's a bit tedious, it's a bit challenging, but you know, it's been done for 23 years, you know, VGMA has been on. So
after all these hours on end of sitting down, jaw-jawing, arguments, sometimes I know you can even fall out with other board members over the minutest of elements in nominations and all. How do you feel when we critique you so much? When music lovers at the end of the day, why is this person not, just like the question I asked Arnold, you are critiqued so much. How does it feel?
I feel like the president.
You feel like you're doing your best, but
he knows he's doing his best, but people don't see. I mean, VGMA has a way of drawing very raw nerves anytime the nominations are released. From when it started through the years till now, every time you release the nominations, people have issues. That's why I said it's creative work. It's not science. I mean, if it's science, this plus this plus this must lead to this. But when it comes to creative, it's more people's appreciation and maybe a bit of understanding of what is and what has to be, you know, and all that. So there will always be issues of conversations, discussions, disagreements, agreement, you know, and all that. So people have their right to say that, okay, I think that this one did well for me. So why is it not in? Maybe they don't appreciate the fact that there are different people who have gathered to choose one. And, you know, as human as people are, there may sometimes be some, you know, mistakes and all that. So, yes, criticism is good. I think the problem I have with people, is that sometimes it's not criticism, it's just insults. It's just, you know, taking pot shots at people. And unfortunately, some of the people on the board are people who are very well established. They know their craft. They've been through it all, you know, and all that. So sometimes you feel for some of those people. But it's a human institution. People have their right to criticize. So it's fine.
Ola, let me come to you. We had a discussion the other day right here. What's been some of the fallouts for you after that discussion and all the new things that are coming up, like Kwesi Arthur not being part of some of the categories and all that? You remember we talked about Shatawale as well. Your general overview. Okay, so one of the things that I still hold on to, that I no amount of explanations can even change my mind, it has to do with the fact that how on earth is it possible that Akwaboah will have 7 nominations and not be in the Artist of the Year? And the explanation I'm getting is, you know, there's something we call audience appeal. There's the performances and audience appeal. Really, have you watched Akwaboah's show, Mr. Doku?
You know, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if Ola is on the board, he probably would nominate Akwaboah based on his view of the work that Akwaboah.
You mentioned how many of you? 13. 13. So 13 of you, all of you didn't favor Akwaboah being Artist of the Year after 7 nominations.
That's the point I'm making, that maybe 3 of us would, maybe 4 would, maybe a certain number would. But the based on all that is that came. I mean, I even heard Kewa, for example, say that he feels that Mr. Drew, you know, did a lot of work and last year and should have been nominated in the Artist of the Year category. So I'm sure if Kewa was on the board, maybe he would feel that. I'm saying that it's a gamut of things.
But
And
Mr. we cannot compare Mr. Drew's case to
I'm just giving an example.
Because on that part of the Artist of the Year, the category definition make it so clear.
No,
that
I'm just giving
the
an example.
person should have had being one of the people with the highest number of nominations. Mr. Drew didn't even get up to that.
I'm just giving an example. That's it's also that's not necessarily the number of.
No, it's part of your.
Yeah.
thing.
Otherwise, then it's automatic that if you have a certain number of nominations, then we
the
don't even have to
category of-
discuss it anymore. You have to be nominated. But it still comes back to discussions. And then based on people's view and all that, you may never know. Maybe about 4 or 5 people in the board said that. And then eventually, if there's no consensus, it has to be put to a vote.
Yeah.
So that of all the people who did well in the year, we have a certain number that we have to choose. Who do we choose?
But I still,
I'm
still not convinced. I am still not convinced
I may be
because
on the board,
the person with the highest number of nominations was 9.
Arnold, you're also there. So let me. The other day, just as I did, Mr. Doku, if you permit me. So there are definitions for each category.
Exactly.
Now, Artist of the Year says that the Artist of the Year is adjudged by the Academy Board and the general public as the artist with the highest audience appeal and the popularity in the year under review. The artist or artists must have released a single, an EP or an album, and must be one of the artists with the highest nominations in the year under review. So if it's
it makes
highest,
it so clear.
Arnold, what do you think?
Must be, but there are 6 people in the nominations list. Can we say that all the 6 there do not have number of songs that are
They
high?
don't have about
No,
7.
I can give you
nominations,
the person with the highest number of nominations was Sarkodie. He had 9.
Okay.
Kiddy had about 8, and then Kwame Eugene too has around 9 or so.
Yeah.
The rest had 5, and that is why I said why somebody had 7 and the person is not there, but the rest had 5.
Arnold.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the board has a lot of tedious work to do. We need to understand what went into the shortlisting. So, for example, last year we had, let's say, 7 nominees in that category. Why do they have 6 in this year? So you need to find out why the shortlisting, the number of nominees that were allowed in that category. That's the first question you need to ask. Number 2, there are different metrics in that category definition. It talks about highest audience appeal, popularity, having a hit single, EP or album. Then you come to the other metric, must have maybe the highest number of nominations. And so you need to actually assess all these criteria within that category definition to actually come up with who actually gets into that category. And so by virtue of Akwaboah having 7 nominations, cannot automatically get him into that category because the board must assess his popularity level, his audience appeal level to actually push him in there. And so you need to give the board some level of, cut them a little slack by actually assessing what number are we doing this year, 6, 5, 8? And so then you come to the assessment of all the metrics within the category definition. And so for me, I do not really have a problem if Akwaboah missed out. Clearly, when it comes to his audience appeal, his level of popularity, he's done an awesome job the year under duration. But for me, I think I don't have a problem with Akwaboah missing out in that category.
Michael, Ola, have you been able to speak to Akwaboah yourself?
Yeah, I have. And he's not happy. He's not happy about it. But Arnold was talking about the other areas or pointers they look at before they pick people in. But I think Akwaboah doesn't fall short of any of them. So probably what they could have done was just probably increase the number of people in that category so that they will capture him as well. Because look, it's up to the people to vote. You understand? But I'm not so much fixated on why he was not there. But I'm just going into what they gave us as a criteria for selecting people. And I'm saying, if this is your criteria, then
he checks all the boxes.
Yes.
So how come
so you missed that? That's it. And the other issue has to do with
again, maybe we may move on, but just to say, and just to also support what Arnold said, there are different criteria. I'm saying that if it's just the one Ola is talking about, then there's no need to even look at other people and look at the impact at other areas.
Right.
You need to check different
Other
boxes.
things.
It's not just saying that once the people has more nomination, automatically the person qualifies. You need to look at his popularity, his audience appeal, his this and that. Maybe for you, he checks all the boxes. But again, it's different
That's
people.
Not what Okay.
So
all right.
I
But
think that
yes, but if you're moving from there, but I'm saying finally that at the end of the day,
Okay.
is the public, the board, and the academy that have to choose who wins from that category.
Right.
So
but somebody has to present it to them for
exactly.
them to,
so sometimes let's be a bit, open and leave the people to choose.
Okay, God willing next year.
God willing next year. What's the guarantee he's going to be there?
Robert Clare is the head of public events and communications Charterhouse. He would explain why he's not here. He is on the phone. Robert, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
How are you doing? I can imagine how tired you are because you've been working tirelessly.
Yeah, we basically left rehearsal grounds this morning.
I can imagine.
4 hours ago, so.
I can imagine.
Joe
So what's in store today and tomorrow? Let's take today. What's going to happen tonight?
Well, tonight we begin the weekend celebration of music, and we're starting off with the industry awards. The industry awards are about the categories that are technical and areas where the awards focus on activities that pertain to industry activities. So, for example, if you say music for good, using the music to be able to advance the cause of society positively, impact society positively. Or let's say Lifetime Achievement Award, as in honoring people who have used or who have throughout their lifetime, done exceedingly well within the music space and they need to be recognized, that kind of stuff. These are the elements that we'll be looking out for today. Today is dedicated to them, and that is what will be happening tonight.
Okay. Do we still have some more tickets that have not been sold yet? Can anybody still buy tickets as of today?
Yeah, well, tickets are on sale, and we have just a few tickets available. So tickets are on sale, and tomorrow two tickets are on sale. So anybody out there willing to buy tickets, they can always get tickets.
Where can we get them?
You can get tickets from Nalem stores. You can get Akramo. You can get Nalem stores and Akramo. You can get from X-Men, and you can also get from Charterhouse. Or you can use the other platforms. The platform, that's the digital platform that sell the tickets. So you can do a Vodafone cash only. You can do star 110 hash. So if you can do that, you can obtain the kind of tickets you're looking for.
Okay.
So all the options are available on these platforms. Anybody who wants to get into the space can do that.
Okay. It's the 23rd anniversary. Anything special to mark the 23rd anniversary?
Well, the 23rd anniversary, and what is special is in the entire process, not necessarily on a particular day.
Okay.
So, for example, one of the things that's special is the fact that VGMA is heavily supporting Music for Good. When anybody who's winning the Music for Good is going to have full amplification support to their message that they are projecting for a year. And that is, something special.
Okay.
A new Artist of the Year winner is going to have a fully funded performance slot at the Ghana Party in the Park, happening this year in July.
Okay.
That is new. There's a relationship with Twitter that has been announced, which seeks to amplify everything and anything that we do on the ground. And for musicians, the 11 million plus Twitter music followers are going to plug in worldwide. So again, that is new. Event itself, you are going to have the oomph and the boom, the glitz and glam that comes with the red carpet, the excitement that it comes with. Yes, of course, you're going to see stuff that you haven't seen before. That's new. You're going to have people disappointed, people celebrated, controversies, and any form of, and people receiving awards because they deserve it. All of that is also going to happen, and the kind of people who are going to receive awards, it's not going to be entirely new. It's not going to be a repetition of the old. It's going to be, entirely new. The performances are certainly going to be entirely new. So all of these things put together is a composite expression of something new for the 23rd year, which will never make it a repeat. It's just going to be, a distinct and standalone experience. So yeah, you can find them on multiple touch points of the VGMA.
Fantastic. Last question. What time are we starting?
Yes, the program begins with the red carpet experience from 8 p.m. And then right after that is we go straight into the awards night presentation and performances. So from 8 p.m. everybody should stay glued to the television set, TV3 for real. And they'll see their favorite presenters at work with artists who have been invited, and dignitaries who have been invited to the program, and the fun continues.
Robert, thank you so much for your time. Please go back to work. I know there's a lot that you have to handle. Robert Clark is the head Public Events and Communications Charterhouse. Thank you for your time. Mr. Doku, he mentioned something very important, that the winner for Music for Good has a collaboration with us. Please elaborate on that for us.
Well, I mean, this is just the Music for Good is, I mean, any artist who did a song that looked at development, for good. I mean, and that for us, one of our key values is care for the community, and so we try to look at how to amplify the things that they do. Last year, we started with the winner, Yaya, and then also we want to continue. So it's just to use our platforms to highlight some of the good things that the person has done and will be doing during the period of their reign as the winner of the Music for Good. Okay. So we feel that it's also part, I mean, we have a very strong foundation, Core3 Foundation, which helps, us be able to deliver on the things that we think the society wants. So it's just continuation of that value that we have with the winner of Music for Good.
Okay. Now, I think, Oliver, do we have time to go through the categories? We probably may not be able to exhaust all of it, but one of the most difficult ones for this year is Best New Artist. And there's a challenge out there. There's Safa, Black Sherif, Scott Evans, Mona For Real, Kweku Darlington, and Kwame Yogurt. Arnold, what are your thoughts on this one?
It's a win for Black Sherif. I mean, that's one of the categories that he would pick easily. I mean, there will be little doubt or little dispute about Black Sherif picking that category. Easy win for Sherif.
But Safa has been choking for the longest. So that's where the argument is, that yes, Safa has been working for a long time. She came out with Fever, choking everywhere before the first and second sermon started. Is it only because Black Sherif has won a lot of massive international recognition?
Well, the Ghana Music Awards has little to do with international recognition and international, mileage. It has to do with the buzz, the hype, and the popularity within our terrain. And I mean, comparatively, I mean, Sherif's popularity, the year under review, surpassed of Sefa. I mean, no disrespect to Sefa, but I mean, it's obvious that Sherif's popularity, I mean, is way miles ahead of Sefa.
Remember the year that Medical was nominated when he didn't win Best New Artist? It was just like what's happening with Black Sherif. He was everywhere. Everybody was talking about Medical. It happened to Papi Kojo as well.
Fancy Garam gave him.
Exactly.
But I doubt if it will happen to Black Sherif because I mean, I'm only conjecturing that the fan base that Sherif has been able to generate or accumulate over the period, I mean, should see him win that category. I mean, seriously, I'll be surprised if he doesn't win it.
Wow. Ola, that's what he thinks. What do you think?
Yeah, I think same. The best new artist from the category definitions, the award goes to, I'm just, taking the second paragraph. The award goes to the relatively new artist who released a single EP album that establishes the public identity of the artist within the year under review. All the people there actually qualify. But if you are picking the most likely person to win, it will be difficult for anybody to bypass Black Sherif and go to any other person. Yes, Ichok did very well, but the sad boys actually overtook everybody. You understand? Not to even say they didn't do well. Everybody did well. That's why they are in the nomination. But one thing I think, boss, we should make people feel proud about is that the fact that you are nominated is an achievement.
Absolutely.
They should have that kind of pride in them. It's not always about the one who is winning, but to be in that nomination alone is an achievement. I've seen foreign artists who, as part of their achievement, they write the number of nominations they had.
Yeah.
But here it looks like, oh, if you don't win, then the other part is not relevant. Black Sheriff is winning. Yesterday, somebody sent me an audio of him in a casino in Trinidad and Tobago. And they were listening to Black Sheriff back to back.
In Trinidad and Tobago.
And I was like, do they even understand what he's saying? He said, boss, that's what they listen to every time.
So you see, broken through too is amazing.
So there's no way anybody can bypass him on this category.
Wow. Okay, that's what you say.
But
So look, I won't come to you. I should come to you on that one.
Yes.
Okay, so
no,
yes,
but Arnold
Arnold.
wanted to say something. Yeah.
Yes, I mean the issue Ola raised with regard to artists not celebrating nominations. That's an industry problem.
Okay.
It's not the artist problem because, for example, Cookie, you've talked about a lot of artists. Usually, you are supposed to talk about Black Sheriff. Black Sheriff is a 4-time nominee for what blah 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 blah. The journalists, when they are describing the artists, refuse to actually talk about their nominations. Exactly. The artists themselves also fail to actually mention the nominations that they've garnered over the period. So it's an industry problem. Like Ola said, if you compare it to the outside, the international market, they cherish and relish these nominations. It is part of their PR package. But for us, it seems as if we are not really,
it's a challenge.
Really into this nominations bit. So it's an industry problem that we all need to fix, from the journalist to the presenter to the artist himself or herself.
Right. Thank you for touching on that point. Mr. Loko, you're going to say
something. What I want to touch on is that the tendency to be swayed by what happens in the year of the awards is so high that sometimes you forget that the award is for a particular year, which is the period of 2021. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that over the past 2-3 months, Black Sheriff's popularity has soared very high than it was in 2021. I mean, Second Sermon shot him up high, but over the last 2-3 months, he's gone even high. So sometimes you could think that because of that, I'm not saying that he didn't do well, but he was very strong and he stands a very tall chance of winning. But there have been surprises in the Ghana Music Awards.
Many of them.
You know, and also because there are 3 levels of voting. There's the public, there's Academy, which is made up of industry people, a lot of them, and then there's the board. The board has 30%, Academy has 30%, the public has 40%. So depends on who is, but sometimes also people have fans, but they may not translate that into voting. They may not translate that into voting. So as much as a lot of people think that Black Sheriff is head and shoulders above all the other people nominated, there have been surprises before in the Ghana Music Awards night. So the fans should have voted. The Academy must be convinced to vote, and even the board must have voted for him to be. So, but if all these do not add up, there could be surprises.
And it's happened before.
Areas. Yes.
Yeah, it's happened before.
I didn't want to come here yet, but since we're talking about Black Sheriff, let's just touch on it. He's also in the category of Artist of the Year. That tells me
that is where Arnold will have issues with me.
Arnold, come to me with that one. So just with the few sermons he's released, and then his popularity, like Mr. Doku said, shooting up in the last 3 months, he actually qualifies to be in Artist of the Year. He's never even held a concert of his own before.
Not yet.
Yeah, and that is a misconception.
If we talk about the year under review,
but that is not part of the.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, it is not. It's
not a mandatory requirement.
It is not a requirement, but then it has become a saying that before you become the Artist of the Year, you must have held your own
concerts.
But it is not. It is not stipulated in the category definition.
Okay.
No, it's not.
So it's just a running metric that we use as an industry to actually judge who actually becomes Artist of the Year. But it is not in there. I disagree that Black Sheriff's popularity soared in the last 3 months. I mean, the year under review, he was big. The Second Sermon really shot him to that limelight.
Yeah.
The remix blew him over. And so it is not just the last 3 months that he became very popular.
Yes, I didn't say just though. I said
he said in the last 3 months. Yes, it soared.
Yeah, pushed him hard. But the impression is, he got popular or very popular within the last 3 months. The impression. I'm not saying. I mean, that's what you said. But the impression that you create with that commentary presupposes that his popularity soared within that last.
So I issue a disclaimer. That's
not and if you are not careful, you might think that it's the KTT that has made him popular.
Yeah,
but he was popular before that one.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so for me, I have no qualm with Black Sherif being in the Artist of the Year category. In fact, he may be the one to give Kiddy a run for his money.
Yeah.
Because the conversation is for Kiddy to actually win it. But he may be surprised by a certain Black Sherif in that category. Seriously.
Well, the other nominees in that same category, King Promise, Kwame Eugene, Sarkodie, Kiddy, and Joe Metal. So Black Sherif adds up to it, and it's 6 of them in that category. So for Arnold, you are still tipping Black Sherif for Artist of the Year?
No, for Artist of the Year, I think Kiddy should bag it.
Okay.
Because he worked very hard. Last year, he was tipped. I tipped Kiddy to win it last year until he was surprised by Dana Hamilton.
Yeah.
And for him to actually keep the momentum on that level from last year to this year, it's just a few artists like Sarkodie, Kwame Eugene, and a few artists who are able to
do that,
to translate their popularity from one year to the other. So for Kiddy to actually do that in the last 2 years, for me, I think he's worked so hard and he deserves to pick it this time. But he may be surprised by Black Sherif. But I tip Kiddy to win it.
Okay. Ola.
Yeah, I think in the same line with Arnold, I think the Kiddy should win.
Okay.
You know, like he's saying, and I also agree. Last year we all thought that he was going to win it, but it didn't happen. But he never gave up. He kept pushing.
He said he'll be back.
No, he was to be back last year.
Oh, last year.
He was to be back last year.
Didn't come back.
But he got tempted.
Okay, he came back a few times, not for the real,
for the real thing.
Exactly.
But this time around, I think he should go back to the I'll be back thing. This time he's taking a lot of awards.
He's really back.
And I'm tipping him for the Artist of the Year. Not to say Black Sherif does not deserve to win it. He may pull a surprise like Arnold is saying, but Sarkodie too can pull a surprise, don't forget. He's still Obidi Pombidi. You understand?
Yeah.
But Kiddy is Kiddy's time.
But I'm saying he said he'll be back because afterwards, when I interviewed him here, he told everybody that I will be back.
Okay.
Meaning he was going to be back for this year.
Okay, maybe this time it's coming with bigger guns. And of course, the touch of gun is really big. Yeah. Kiddy can win it, and we pray he does.
Yeah. There's something that's been tickling my mind, Mr. Doku. Maybe you can help as a board member as well. Phenomenal artist, King Promise, takes us outside Ghana, is on the O2 concert with Wizkid, does his thing phenomenally well. But I say, push what is it? Arnold, do you want to, Mr. Doku, do you want to answer that for me?
Let Arnold answer that one.
Arnold, what is it? I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of King Promise as well, and it worries me that when it comes to the local awards, King Promise doesn't feature prominently, and that observation has been felt by a lot of people, not just me. The point is, King Promise is a brilliant artist. I mean, anybody can attest to or tout his prowess when it comes to the music that he does, but when it comes to his image and his persona, I think he and his team have failed in that aspect of pushing the artist. It's more about the international mileage, the international market. King Promise, yes, he does well with the music, but when it comes to the image projection, I think they lack.
With the locals here, you think that's a dip?
I think in their mindset, if you actually assess the likes of Promise and then Daco Vibes, they really do not care much about the local terrain when it comes to awards and all that stuff. Their concentration and fixation is more of winning the international music market. And so if you compare Promise to the likes of Kwame Eugene, even Mr. Drew, his image projection when it comes to Ghana is a bit down. And so if he really wants to lay a claim for the local awards, then he and his handlers must try as much as possible and push the arts. How many times have we seen King Promise do local interviews? On your show?
Yeah.
On UTV?
He's been here a few times, but it's always in relation to his, what's the name of his concert? As Promised. Yeah.
Exactly. So really, because it's the awards, the VGMA is more to do with popularity. And so if the artist really is interested in the awards, then he must do well in pushing his or her persona or image. It's very important. And Promise, Daco Vibes, those guys are not really doing well when it comes to image projection in Ghana. Okay,
Mr. Doku, you were nodding in the affirmative.
No,
is that how the board also feels?
No, my personal view. My personal. I mean, the board nominated him in the Artist of the Year category, just as in many other categories, because of the work he did last year. I mean, and it looks like over the years, he's always pushing and pushing very hard. But it comes back to what Arnold said, that sometimes maybe the image needs to be pushed a bit harder than it has been.
The local market.
But I must say that in terms of the nominees, there's always, again, surprises that happen. Last year we saw one. Majority of the people who were making panditry felt that the person who deserved to win was Kiddy. But on the night,
it didn't go to him.
It went to Diana Hamilton. You know, the first female after Ebony. I mean, to have won it, and also the first female gospel artist. It was a big surprise, and maybe we could have a similar surprise. Maybe the person who overwhelmingly has been tipped to win would win. But I must say that Sarkodie needs to be commended. That I don't know, but maybe Arnold could back me up here. But from I think 2009, he's almost always been in the Artist of the Year category, and there hasn't been any artist like that. Sarkodie's effect in the music industry must be commended and appreciated. And it is possible, as well as I said, that he could even pull a surprise on the night, because he did a lot of work last year as well. People feel that it gets to a point when you want only the young people who are pushing to be nominated. But if the person worked, he released an album, few of the songs on the album were very popular. He did a lot of performances. It was on his own show, act, and a whole lot. So I think that he needs to be commended for holding the music industry of Ghana up to this, but not just hip hop or hip life or his area, but as a musician and as an icon. I think that he needs to be commended for all that he's done.
Oliver, just 2 minutes. One last category, very last one. Best Reggae Dancehall Artist of the Year. Samini LaRusso, episode Stonebwoy. Mr. Doku, why is Shatta Wale not in this category? You threw out an invitation to re-invite them onto the scheme. Why isn't he here? He declined?
No, I think it was mentioned when the nominations came out, and he didn't submit, and he didn't give his consent for it to be nominated. I think Stonebwoy gave his consent to be nominated. So
so they can't just pick people's songs and nominate, because you need to present the songs.
I guess it, but I'm going somewhere.
Where are you going?
Why didn't he respond? Why didn't he send?
He's not interested. I mean, if he's not interested, you can't force him.
Everybody who's interested in
let's wait for him to be interested.
Is he really not interested, or he's trying to send a message out there?
But if he was, he would give his consent.
I just want to know. Mr. Doku, let her not speak.
If you guys remember, he did a blood covenant. He cut his hand, and then he said the blood that was oozing out is a testament that he will not join the VGMAs again.
Yeah.
If you remember.
Yeah.
And then his manager at the time, Bulldog, said if he rejoin the VGMA, he will go into farming.
So he doesn't want to become a farmer.
Exactly. So both Shatta Wale and his manager have all made some declarations that makes it quite difficult for them to actually come back to the scheme. Because blood covenant is critical. You cannot do a blood.
You can't go back on it.
Yeah.
If you are not accommodam.
Yeah, the point is between 2013 to 2019, the reggae dancehall category used to be one of the hottest categories in the VGMA. And so it would have been, since the infamous incident, the shooting or the gun pulling incident, it has lost its verve. That category has lost its verve. It used to hold the conversations that surrounds the VGMA. And so it would have been befitting and some form of a revival for that category which Shatta Wale had been part of it. But for me, I think it's an easy win for Stonebwoy.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah. It's like the king is coming back for his own awards. Yeah. Anyway.
What he probably missed out the last time around, when all these, chaos happened.
When the chaos happened.
But I think that Stonebwoy is take for it. But let's not forget about this young boy, LaRusso.
LaRusso, eh?
That boy is so talented.
LaRusso is talented.
Very, very talented. And I just pray that even if he doesn't win, he will not be, disheartened, but he'll keep pushing.
Right.
That boy, we should watch out for him.
He's got a future, huh?
We should watch out for him. LaRusso. Watch out for that boy.
Yeah.
See the way I'm saying that with passion.
Yeah. For who?
For who?
Joe Mettle can surprise everybody.
He's a reggae dancehall artist of the year. I know, like seriously.
There's a running joke that Joe Mettle has shares in Charterhouse.
I believe that. I actually believe that though. But I think he's going
Why he's always.
But the point is that,
like we have to force him to be part of
it's
it.
not just Charterhouse is not the only corner to vote for Artist of the Year. So there's a public that's different.
Regardless, there's a time when they put one gospel artist there, the gospel fraternity will all gather and vote for him.
Anyway,
so there could be a surprise.
Anyway,
again.
This is an organized surprise.
Joe Mettle is in there, it could be a surprise.
Yo, I know that's how my baby. Thank you so much.
I need to.
No, yes, I was just wrapping up with him before I come to you.
Sure.
Ola, thank you to Arnold. Thank you so very much. But we are airing, of course, on TV3 this weekend. What are we to expect?
No, I mean, over the last few years, the VGMA has best been experienced on TV3 and on all our platforms, and we have continued the partnership. I think we started in 2018, and each year we try to give legs to all the activities of the VGMA. For instance, the experience concert that took place in Koforidua was on our station live. The road to VGMA, you know, every Saturday for the past 6-7 weeks at 5 o'clock on Saturday, and has also come on. There have been different, you know, things happening with giving a lot of promotional support to the VGMA because we believe in the content. As you know, our channel is a leader when it comes to content, events, you know, and everything around it. So we like to give experiences to our audience. And so this weekend is going to be another big one. Tonight from 8 o'clock, we will take the red carpet, you know, and everything around it. Showbiz 360 will be there. Tomorrow, similarly, we'll do Lady Circle from the grounds. And then the real show itself will air from about 9 p.m. till, you know, and so tonight, the first event will take place on TV3. Tomorrow, it will take place on TV3. And, you know, the millions out there who would all not cram into the Grand Arena would watch on TV3 and listen on 3FM, chat with us, engage us on our social media platforms with the hashtag VGMA on TV3 and all the things around it. So yes, we are the official television partner as we have been over the last 5 years, and we'll continue to give the best to our audience, especially this year, as you know, Cookie. We'll launch our 25th anniversary, different activities will come. And so the experiences on TV3 and on all our platforms continue. So we urge our viewers, listeners, and all the people to stick to us as they've always done, and we'll give them the best experience. Because as you know, I mean, the first in news,
best in entertainment.
Yes.
I agree.
He is the general manager for MGTV, always selling us as best as he can. Mr. Francis Doku. Ola, thank you so much for coming. We'll be monitoring your discussions on the fallouts from this weekend. I know there'll be a whole lot. I know there'll be a whole lot that you say. We'll be monitoring. We'll be monitoring.
We'll take care of events.
Maybe later on, after the show itself, after the main event, we'll probably have you back. And so we pick your thoughts on who picked what and who didn't pick what. Arnold Asamoah Bedu, thank you so much for making time for us this morning. But you've done so well by sticking and staying with us. Thank you so very much. We'll see you some other time. Happy birthday in advance to Giovanni Onassis Kontoma of Achimota Basic School. It's from your brother Kelvin and your mother MFA. They love you very, very much. And I think I have another one. Happy birthday also going out to my landlord Henry, aka Fibo. Reduce the amount. It is too much. Please reduce it. Please reduce it. But it's your birthday. Enjoy your day. And happy birthday to General Corporal Police, General Corporal of, no, I'm getting this wrong. Okay, let me just go to the name because I think the writing has something going on. Ahiamenyo Mauli Koku, stationed in Bimbila in the Northern region. I wish you good health and a long life. And it's from Vivian Bogbe. Happy birthday to you as well. I don't think I have any more birthday messages, but thank you for sticking and staying with us. But we definitely promise that there'll be a discussion right here on TV3Newday with the artists of the year. Who's it going to be? Black Sheriff Kitty or C? This evening and tomorrow right here. Kim Promise and Joe Metal, yes. So we'll find out right here. Yes, we'll find out right here.